Does anyone other than scientists care about Antarctica? The answer is clearly yes, because the fishing, scientific work and mineral extraction here is governed by a treaty system that has maintained peaceful cooperation on the continent for decades. However, today China and Russia are pushing the boundaries of the treaty system, and it is possible that this process will result in its erosion. My name is Ádám Csenger, I am an analyst at Oecomment, and this is Oecomment. Stay tuned. Antarctica was discovered in the 19th century, and the territorial disputes that followed were ended by the Antarctic Treaty of 1961, which froze the territorial claims of different countries and stated that the Antarctic could only be used for peaceful purposes. The Antarctic Treaty has been supplemented over time by other agreements to create the Antarctic Treaty System. During and after the Cold War, the treaty successfully kept geopolitical tensions away from Antarctica and prevented the continent from being used for military purposes. Today, however, the treaty is facing unprecedented challenges from China and Russia over fishing, mineral extraction, and the potential militarization of the continent. As for fishing, there are large fisheries off the Antarctic coast, including krill. China has established fishing fleets in certain protected waters under the banner of scientific activity, and Russia announced in early 2022 that it would invest the equivalent of around $600 million in krill fishing. It is no coincidence that these two countries have repeatedly blocked the creation of further marine protected areas. The Antarctic Treaty forbids the militarization of the continent, but the presence of soldiers and military equipment is allowed if it supports scientific research. However, it is difficult to determine whether a country's personnel in Antarctica are conducting civilian or military operations. An example of this is China's activities in Antarctica, which are of particular concern to many Western observers. According to the Australian intelligence services, there have been instances of Chinese military personnel participating in the country's Antarctic program, which is classified as a scientific activity. Antarctica is home to significant reserves of oil, gas and minerals. One of China and Russia's long-term goals appears to be to exploit them, as both Beijing and Moscow have expressed interest in relaxing the so-called Madrid Protocol, which bans mining and other forms of resource extraction. Although Russia has more limited financial means to strengthen its presence than China, both countries are keen to gain greater influence on the continent, not least to put themselves in a better position for a possible renegotiation of the Antarctic Treaty. The Antarctic system is fundamentally based on trust, and this creates opportunities for abuse. There are no obstacles to pushing the boundaries of the system or to crossing them, as compliance with the treaty cannot be enforced. For example, although states are obliged to grant access to their research stations and vessels for inspection purposes, inspections can be circumvented. The treaty can be reviewed from 2048 onwards. China and Russia are likely waiting for this and will try to renegotiate the regulations to exploit Antarctic resources. However, the system could be further weakened before the treaty is renegotiated, as besides China and Russia, other countries, fearing that they will be at a disadvantage, may also take steps that could trigger a process of increasing erosion. In the coming decades, developments in Antarctica could even influence the great power competition in other parts of the world. The fact that China and Russia are pushing the limits of the Antarctic Treaty System fits into the global trend of these two countries rejecting the rules of the Western world order and trying to create their own set of rules instead. This global process affects Europe and Hungary too, and the EU must therefore push for compliance with the agreements and negotiate the solutions to conflicts in Antarctica as in other areas of great power competition. You've been watching Oecomment, a video series by the Economist Economic Research Foundation. If you're interested in the topic, check out our analysis titled Great Power Ambitions in Antarctica on our website. If you liked our video, like it and follow us on our social media pages and website, where you'll find further economic and geopolitical articles.